Hi, I'm Dave. I am a retired electrical engineer, been a techie all my life, and a ham radio operator. I have tried 3 different hearing aids. I call them amps. That's what they are. And well, back in the 70s when stereo home systems were really big, you'd go into a listening room and there'd be a wall of speakers and you'd have a switch where you could switch between speaker pair A, B, C. Well, I didn't have that luxury. I had actually tried 3 different hearing aids, and over the period of 2 or 3 weeks, they all sounded good. I couldn't tell you that one sounded better than the other as far as having a clear amplification. What I was mostly interested in above and beyond the actual hearing aid was streaming, because I've got, I have an iPad, an iPhone, the Sony TV, and my little ham radio handheld UHF, VHF transmitter. So first device I tried was the Signia, and I wanted to like Signia. I had a Siemens before, and it worked good until I tried to install the streaming device, and it was a pain. I kept it kept unpairing. It would unpair from my phone. The devices would stop working. I'd have to shut them down and turn them back on again. I had 2 or 3 pages of notes of problems that I had with the pairing, and I came to the conclusion that their software just wasn't ready for prime time as far as streaming, which was my prime interest. So then I tried Oticon, and this is such an amateur video, sorry, but they sounded good, and you know, I would shut this iPhone video off, but you can't pause. Anyway, here I am back again. You have to have the connect clipped to actually do the streaming from devices. And of course, then you have the streaming box for your TV. But I gotta tell you, the Phonak really works slick. After the experience I had with the Siemens TV streaming box, here's my the back of my Sony TV, and you can see that box right there is a small little box, and it just was so easy to hook up and get working. There's one issue, and I got to show you. This is a Alexa smart switch, and when I walk into my den, I called it hijacking. The hearing aids would get switched over to the TV stream, even though I didn't necessarily want it to. The streaming box is powered off of USB, which is on all the time on the Sony TV. So what I do is I just tell Alexa to shut off the TV when I'm not using it. So I solved that problem. But I discovered something just recently. I had a problem, and I called tech support. And this woman was very knowledgeable, and she told me something that I didn't read in any of the literature or the instructions, is that you can hold down any one of the 4 buttons, 2 on each side, up and down, for 3 or 4 seconds, and it will toggle between devices that are turned on. So like if my iPad's on, my TV is on, it will toggle between each one of those devices. And that was very helpful because when you pull up the app, it takes painfully long to finally pair to the app, my iPhone to the app. Oh my God, it takes 60 seconds, I'm guessing. So this bypasses that problem. But I really like the streaming on the Phonak. I like the app. The EQ on the app is pretty slick. I can contour the hearing, and also I can bias how much of the sound I want to be from the ambient around me versus how much of the sound I want to be coming from the device that's streaming. Okay, I'm getting lengthy. I'm getting talkative here. Finally, I have a downside, and it's this charging box. Unlike the other two devices, this does not use induction charging. And I can only imagine, I like to think that it's because they crammed so much other stuff inside, they didn't have room for the induction loop that it takes inside that tiny little pod, which is your hearing aid. But here's what you got to do. So here's my hearing aid, and as I drop this thing in, I got to push it. There. Oh, I don't have it plugged in. That's why it's not blinking. Usually it will blink amber. So it's a contact, which I can only imagine in the future I'm going to have to be keeping those contacts clean. Oh, and finally, the last thing, some people complain, and me too, it's really hard to get that thing out of there. But I've learned to live with it in spite of itself because I like all the other features. Okie doke.